Mr. Dyer had a young woman was his secretary, and he had retired from being a lawyer, and I forgot her name. This woman would go to the post office and pick up Mr. Dyer's mail and bring it, and sat out in the kitchen and visit with the cook, and the nurse would be there. The nurse would come out there, and Georgia Preissner was a nurse, and this other woman, and they would smoke cigarettes. I thought that was terrible. And for Georgia to be a nurse and smoke. And I'd get close to Georgia, I could smell the cigarette smoke on her clothes. So, anyway, Mr. Dyer, when he died, Mary and Rudy had come, and he was cremated, and Mrs. Dyer was cremated, and this young woman, I can't think of her name. Anyway, they took Mr. Dyer's ashes out to the cemetery to be buried, and I went along, and this other woman that was his secretary, her husband was there, and he dug a hole to bury Mr. Dyer's ashes. And they put him in a sealed box, which I was glad they did. I didn't want him to bury without putting him in a sealed box. And I stayed on at Mr. Dyer's house for a month or something, and they had a sale, and they had a grass bed, and I wanted so bad. But there was a woman came down from Kankakee, and her and I started bidding on that bed. Well, she wouldn't quit, and I run it up to $600. And I decided I better quit. So I quit and let her have the bed. And she got it for $600 and took it back to Kankakee.